Growth operating is not dead in 2026, and you can still make a ton of money with this business model, whatever you want to call it. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to actually make $10,000 a month growth operating in 2026, which is very, very easy. And I started growth operating end of 2024. In the first month, I made $14,000. And within a few months, I was able to scale that up to around $30,000 to $40,000, where we've been sitting at recently over the last kind of 6 months to a year. But we've got our plans to scale to $200K a month. But either way, I'm going to show you step by step how to make $10,000 a month, which is actually way, way easier than you would think. So I'm going to run you through the frame, the offer, the outreach, delivery, and scale, how to actually scale it once you hit that goal. And we're going to go step by step into every little piece that you need to know. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. It took me way too long to figure out how to do this. And now that I know, I'm here to teach it to you. I don't sell an info product. I'm telling you this completely for free. It's 100% free. The reason I make these videos is to build my network and to have access to better talent by building a personal brand. So I do this purely to give value and to grow my network, as I said. So I'm not selling you anything. Let's get into it. So the first thing is you need to understand the frame. So before you do anything, before you get into any venture, before you get into any kind of anything, you need to understand the frame of what you're going into it with. And you need to understand that $10,000 a month is tiny. It's nothing. If you think about the trillions of dollars that go around the economy, the world economy, or even just in your country, the hundreds of billions of dollars, $10,000 a month is a teeny tiny, tweeny, peeny portion of that amount of money. Okay, so $10,000 is really not much money at all. If you're in the normie 9 to 5 world, $100,000 a year, $10,000 is a good amount. It's a good salary, right? But if you're in the business, $10,000 a month is really very small. And this may not make any sense to you guys, but you have to understand that every time you hit a revenue goal, it feels worse than when you were before it. So like when we hit $30,000 to $40,000 a month, it felt worse. Like I felt poorer than I did when I made my first like 5K a month. So you need to understand that what you realize is as you make money, it is actually very, very little. So you need to try and tap yourself into that mentality where $10,000 a month is tiny. We now don't even bring on a client if they won't pay $10,000 a month as a setup fee, let alone like, retainers and the rev shares that we make from them. So you need to understand that $10,000 a month is nothing. Now, Gio, how can you say $10,000 a month is nothing? Because you need to understand what value is. In business, if you're starting out, this will clarify a lot of issues. In business, and if you're ever questioning how to make money, you need to understand that if you offer value, you can charge money and then you will make money. Now, what is value? The easiest way to formulate value is through money, because money is a representation of value. So if I can make someone more than $10,000, I can charge them $10,000 and they will have made money, right? So if I make someone 20K and I tell them pay me 10K, they will double their money. The more money I can make them for what I charge them, the more value there is being created. That is how the economy works. That is how capitalism works. And if you're in a capitalistic society, then it's amazing because the opportunities are endless. So you need to make people more than $10,000 a month. And creators who have hundreds of millions of views is a very easy proposition to make them, $50,000 a month and then to charge them $10,000 a month. Now, growth operating is not dead. It's not the same as it was in 2024, 2025, but it is different. Why is it different? Because in 2024, almost no one was selling info. Like it wasn't as much as it is now. Now, almost every creator has an offer that they're selling. They have a course, they have a coaching, consulting, whatever it is. So you need to understand how to fit into that. So what does that mean? The first thing you need to understand is before you think about, I want to sign clients, I want to do this, you need to understand what you bring to the table. And this really comes down to your offer, which we're going to talk about in a bit. So what do you bring to the table? Why should someone care? Because no one cares about you. You have to make them care. The creators that you're reaching out to, the creators that you want to sign and work with, they don't give a shit about you. They really, really, really do not care. You are non-existent to them. So you have to make them care. And a lot of them are not as good as business. They're just regular human beings. They're not as good as business as you think, but you have to make them care. And how you make them care is by understanding what you bring to the table. Now, you don't want to be one of those like Miami girls of I am the table. No, you're not. You're worthless. You have no skills. You don't know anything. But you can build them, because I was once in your shoes, and now I'm doing between $30,000 and $40,000 a month. So now that you understand the frame, you understand that $10,000 a month is a tiny, teeny portion, and it's much simpler than you think. You offer value to make money. So you know you need to offer value to these businesses. You need to make them more money in order to make money yourself. You need to understand that you need to bring something to the table. You need to make them care. What exactly are you going to help these creators with? Now, you have to ask yourself 3 questions in terms of how to craft your offer, because growth operating is different these days. Everyone already has an info product that they're selling. We've already established that. You need to help them make more money with their info product, not just help them launch from scratch. So you need to ask yourself 3 questions. You need to ask yourself what you help creators with, what skills you have already, and if you don't have any skills, how do you acquire skills? So you need to understand something, that business, especially when you're looking at info products or service-based businesses or consulting or coaching businesses, which is who you're going to be helping with as a growth operator, or community-based businesses, are very, very simple businesses to run in the sense that they're not very complex. There's 3 core components of them, and then you have to pick where you fit into that. Right? And there's loads of skills that you can help a business with to make them more money. You don't need to do all of them. You don't need to do only one of them, but you can package a few skills to make yourself valuable as an operator so that you can take a significant chunk of the revenue that you provide. So there's 3 main pillars. There is marketing, there is conversion, and there is delivery. Now, what does that mean? For a business, an info product, or a coaching to thrive or to make money, people need to find out that the creator exists. They need to have a way of converting into a buyer. And then they need to have a way of getting the result that they're promised, and then maybe ascending into different products, or then just like leaving and job is accomplished. And each of these 3 pillars has sub-pillars beneath it, okay? So marketing really comes down to, if you're looking at a creator, or you're looking at an info or coaching or consulting business, you have organic content, which is, creating the content, scripting the content, video editing. These are the sub-skills within that. Or you have paid ads. It's really getting people to find out about your stuff, getting people to find out that the creator exists. So as I said, you can do that through organic content, which hopefully they're already doing, right? If you're reaching out to them, that's kind of the whole point, because if you're reaching out to someone who doesn't have an audience to be their growth operator, there's not much point there. Like you're kind of defeating the purpose. So they already have an audience, so they already have attention. And you can help them more in this regard by either helping them make more content, scripting content, or video editing, although odds are they're probably already good at this stuff because they have an audience. Or you can help them with paid ads. So you can help them add on or tack on a new acquisition system or a new system of getting people to find out about their stuff. Now, paid ads are kind of complicated if you've never done anything before. So my advice to you is look at the second portion, which is conversion. They're getting people to find out about the brand. Now, conversion. What can you help with there? When you look at conversion, you have to understand that people are watching their content. People know that they exist. You now need to find a way of converting them. And there really aren't that many ways of converting people from a viewer to a buyer. There's a few main ways, and I'll walk you through them now. You can either, if they're, let's say, a YouTube channel, you can either take them through a VSL call funnel. Okay, which is a funnel where people click on a website. There's a video that they watch that talks about the product that sells them to go book a call. A link to book a call, they'll click to book a call, they'll get on a call with the sales call, and then they'll hopefully buy. That's the first main, most popular funnel that people run. The second main, most popular funnel that people run are DM funnels. So you will have them watch your content on all the different platforms. Then you will take them to a platform where you can DM them, like Instagram or Twitter. And then you'll have an appointment setter DMing these people to book a call, and then a closer will then close them. And then the third main, most popular funnel, to keep things simple, there's more, but I'm just keeping it simple, is a webinar funnel. This is the one that we specialize in. So if you are a creator and you want help monetizing your audience and you want to run a webinar to make 6 figures plus per month with your coaching business, you can always book a call with me down below and we can see if we'd be a good fit. But either way, the webinar funnel is the third main funnel. We call it a cash injection funnel in our business, at our agency, because it is the best way to inject cash into an info business. And what you do there is you have a landing page where they go on the website to sign up to a free class that you host, maybe once a month. They'll go sign up. They'll come to the live class. You give them a 1 hour long presentation of really good value for them around the offer that you help them solve with your content. And then you make them a pitch at the end where they will then buy. Okay. Now, I'm telling you all this because you need to understand that there are only a few main components to these businesses. And so there's only a few skills that you actually have to learn. You don't need to learn 10, 15 different skills. You need to learn a few. Which is, you need to learn how to generate more attention through either video editing or paid ads, or you need to learn how to convert attention, which is probably the best way to start. And the best skill to first start off by learning, if you don't have any skills, is by understanding copywriting. What makes good copywriting? That's number one. Okay. So how do you do this? YouTube, how to copywrite. So many good videos out there about how to copyright, how to learn copywriting. You start with that. The second is understanding the other skills that come into it. So sales team management, appointment setting, sales calls, funnel building, VSL scripting, webinars. These are all the skills that I've just walked you through that you can learn and you can apply. Now, what's the best way to learn these skills? First thing is YouTube. YouTube has everything you need. You go YouTube, you type in, VSL call funnel full breakdown. I have videos on it. Other people have videos on it. You just walk through exactly what the funnel looks like. So you understand from a bird's eye view how these businesses convert attention into buyers. That way, you can start wrapping your head around how these things work. The second way to do this is you go to the biggest gurus in the space. You go to their YouTube channel, you go to the description, you click the top link in the description, and you start looking through their funnels. What are they doing to take attention into money? What are they doing to convert their viewers into buyers? Okay, this will give you real world examples, and your goal is to create a swipe file or to create maybe 20 examples of these funnels. And what you're going to see is you're going to see very recurring patterns. You're going to see that a lot of them do the same things because the same things do the best job. The same things are what gets the results. Okay, so that's exactly what you need to do. That's how you acquire the skills. You watch YouTube videos, maybe you do some practice copywriting, you pick an offer, you pick a creator, and you try to write some emails until they start sounding good. You sign up to email lists and you go from there. And so really, there's only a few main skills that you can actually learn. There's copywriting, which can apply to funnel building, VSLs, email marketing, webinars, everything in between. There's 3 main funnels that you need to learn. So you can learn sales management, you can learn, appointment setting if you have setters, you can or closers, you can manage closing if you even just want to go ahead and close deals yourself. So the point is that you're trying to do here is you're trying to understand what 2-3 skills can you package together that you can go take to a business owner and offer them. We used to do everything. Now we've honed in on a few different aspect so that we can scale further as an agency and have a licensed kind of standard operating procedure that we can give from client to client to client. And that's working tremendously well for us. And we're going to use that to scale up to 200K a month by the end of the year, if not higher. So that is goal number 1, is you need to understand before you start reaching out, and this shouldn't take more than 2 days, you should understand the frame. So understanding $10,000 a month is very, very easy. You just need to make 10 people, you need to make 2 to 3 people more than $10,000 a month combined. So if you can make 2 clients $50K a month extra, you can definitely make $10K a month if you charge them 20% rev shares. Okay, that's very, very conservative. Very conservative. So one more point before we start outreach and the offer in terms of how do you price, how do you get them to care? You are not going to be charging them anything for the beginning. You're going to be doing everything on a rev share basis. And we're going to go into the outreach and the specifics there in a second. So don't worry, I'll break down everything. But just understand that right now, no one cares about you and you have to make them care about you by providing them value, by putting yourself forward as someone who can help them solve a problem. If you can't help them solve a problem, you are completely useless to them. Do not reach out to people and say, I want to growth operate for you and help you launch it. They do not care. It's not 2023 anymore. That will not fly. You need to reach out to people with a purpose, with skills that you can help implement into their business, and then go from there. Okay? So one more point on the mindset point that I'm going to hit on later is do not be afraid if you're not entirely sure. You will not be sure until you do this for real. But if you have a few examples of different creators and what they are doing, and you can see a pattern and your skills fit into this, you can understand that the template of what you do works. You can understand that at the very least, what you are reaching out with is validated in the market. And so you know it works. So you know that all you have to do is now figure it out, which we'll talk about in a second. But first, let's talk about clients, because you should not care and you should not think about how am I going to get results if you don't have a client, okay? If you don't have a client, there is quite literally nothing to worry about except getting a client, okay? Because to make $10,000 a month online, you need 1 client where you can make them $50,000 a month, either from 0 to 50,000 or $50,000 a month extra, which is really not very hard because most of these people, let's do the math behind this. Most of these people, if they have a coaching or consulting program, sell high ticket. And if they don't sell high ticket, that's a very good value proposition to start off with, because high ticket makes more money than low ticket. Just a unit economics thing where you don't have to sell as many of them. And there's every audience has a percentage of buyers, and you'd be surprised how many people are willing, if they're going to pay $997, how many people would pay $5K, for example, for that same result. So anyway, the math is these people usually sell programs for $5,000 minimum, between 3 and 7K. Let's call it $5,000. You only need to figure out how to sell 20 a month to make them $100,000. Okay. Let's say they're already selling 3 or 4. If you can help them sell 16, that's a huge amount of value that you're putting in that you can take a rev share on one client. That's just one client. And you could be making more than $10,000 a month. We've had clients pay us upwards of $30,000 in a single month because of these skills. And for those clients, for context, we were managing their sales team. We were even taking some of their sales calls, and we built the funnel for them. And that's literally all we did. And we were able to pocket $30,000 from $150,000 that we made them. Okay. So, or I think it was less than that. I think it was like $110,000 that we had made them. Okay. So anyway, outreach. There's a few main questions that we have to think about when looking at outreach as the third main pillar of making $10,000 a month growth operate. The first thing is who do you reach out to? The third is where do you find these clients? The third is how to reach out to these clients. The second is what to say to these clients when you reach out to them. Then it's how to follow them up and how to turn them into clients. Okay? The first thing is who to reach out. You are going to be reaching out to people who teach something online, because most of these people who teach something in their content sell something on the back end. They sell either a course, or they sell a coaching, or they sell a consulting program on the back. Okay? Now, there's a few main brackets that people make content about. There's money, so people who teach how to make more money, either through BizOp, which is like content of people how to start an SMMA, or how to start dropshipping, or how to start making money online. There's B2B, so it's people who help existing business owners make more money. These people usually charge higher prices. There are, that's in the money space, or there are people who are like, let's say in the investing space, okay? Then there's health, so people who help lose weight, look better, whatever it is. Or there's people in the relationship side. The reason why there's only 3 buckets is because there's only really 3 main ways to charge high ticket and add value to the marketplace, and it's with those 3 mechanisms. It's with making people more money, making people healthier, or making people have better relationships. And so what you can do is you can pick one to specialize in. Pro tip, the ones in the relationships and money and fitness space are usually worse at business. And so if you're starting out, that might be a nice place to start. Our first biggest client was a manifestation client, and we made $300,000 plus from that one client alone. Okay. So it's a very, very viable kind of way to go down, to go away from the money space. But the money space does make more money overall, but can be a little bit more intimidating if you've never kind of made money or never been in the business space before. This is your first client. You can look at the other aspects, relationship therapy, whatever it is. People that help with dating, people that help with fitness, performance, whatever it is. You can go down those routes. So that's who to reach out to. The world is your freaking oyster when it comes with this. You just need to find people who have an audience and who are able to generate attention, and then who have a product to sell. Okay. And if they don't have a product to sell, this is even more of a gold mine, but that's just very rare these days because most people monetize their content with a product. But if they don't have an offer to sell by some miracle, that's the great thing you can pitch them, is making money with the offer, or making money with their audience, and launching something that way. Okay, now that we've established who we're reaching out to, we need to understand where to find these people. Okay, a few main places. The first place we can go to is Instagram. When we go to Instagram, you need to understand that a lot of these big info people, or people who have brands, usually follow people who are in the same space as them. So this is Cardinal Mason, for example. He's big in the copywriting space. You can go to his page, and you can then go and start by looking at his followings and see who he follows. Okay, he doesn't follow anyone. That's not someone who's interesting. Boom, boom, boom. Let's look through a little bit. Okay, trading. Okay, cool. Master my trading model. He has a funnel that we can go look at. This is the kind of person. This is one of the types of people that we can reach out to. So discover, blah, blah, blah. 70 trade every single week. Learn my strategy. So this is the type of funnel that this guy runs. Okay, and he has 320,000 followers. He probably gets a good amount of engagement. Yeah, he gets a ton of engagement on his post. Great. This is exactly the type of funnel you can look at and the type of creator you can help with. And you can continue to replicate this, and you can find all these people, and you can just open up a new tabs, and now you have a bunch of leads that you can reach out to. Okay. Now, as I said, you just have to focus on the niche that you're going to help with. You don't need to focus in on a niche because a lot of these info businesses are very similar. But if you want to pick a niche and specialize in a niche, you can, and you can focus on that fairly well. So that's where to find. Is first place is Instagram. The second place is YouTube. So let's go to YouTube, open that up, and let's say how to fix, let's say oh, there we go. Here's one, for example. This guy's kind of small, but if you follow business people, you'll have plenty of people. I mean, this guy's kind of small, but let's look up how to start an agency, how to make money in real estate, let's say. How to become boom. Let's see something more recent. Real estate for beginners. This guy probably sells something. Yeah, cool. So these are the types of people that you can help. This is a pretty big creator, but basically you just need to get a lot of people. And you have to understand at first, no one cares about you. So you need to take as many shots on goal as you can. Okay. Your goal is to reach out to as many people as you can in the most value dense way possible. But I've just shown you now how to find people very simply. Following on Instagram, and then literally by typing in keywords of the niche that you think you can help with or that you're interested with on YouTube. Once you find those people, and just to give you another example, how to make money with AI agency, for example. You see a bunch of AI people, boom. These are all people that you can help with their videos, all people you can help with their conversions who make videos that get tons of views. And if you really want to play the smart game, always jump in with the trend that is happening at the time. So if there's a specific trend, whether it's AI, whether it's trading, whether it's whatever, that can be a really good place to go ahead and start with. So that's where to find clients really is YouTube, Instagram, even Twitter, with the same strategy as Instagram. That's how to find clients. It's very simple. I don't want to spend more time on that. If you can't figure out how to find people, then you're not going to make it, basically. Then is how to reach out. Now, how do you reach out to these people? And this both comes in logistically, like how do I actively reach out in terms of where do I reach out to them? And this comes down to as well, like what do I say? So what to say and what method do I use to reach out? Here's the first thing you need to understand from a principle perspective is how do you reach out to clients is the more places you can reach out to someone, the better. Why? Firstly, it shows that you care. Secondly, it shows that you have an attention to detail if you can find multiple places to reach out to them. Third of all, it's less automated. It's harder to automate reaching out to people on different platforms. And lastly, I forgot if I said this as the first one, but it shows that you have a high intent of actually trying to work with them. And because the world right now is so diluted with information, with reach outs, especially these creators, they have tens of thousands of DMs coming every single month. You need to stand out from the crowd. Because everyone is trying to solicit these people for some kind of service, whether it's growth operating or something else. You need to stand out from the crowd. And if you reach out on multiple touch points, you increase the likelihood greatly that they will respond to you. You massively increase the probability that you not only will catch their attention, but if they see you on multiple places, they'll be like, oh, I remember this guy. What does he want? He'll go in, he'll see. And then if you have something valuable to give them, they will listen to you. So that's just main principle. Reach out as many places as you can. What this means is try and find their email. A way that you could find their email is you go to their YouTube channel. This is how we find their emails, by the way. Okay. So you go to their email here, view email address, boom, submit. You have an email. Okay. So email, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, as many places as you can hit them up, you hit them up. Okay. The second thing is, what do you actually say? Like, how do you reach out to these people? You first start off by doing what I recommend is a Loom video outreach. I literally just posted a video on this a couple videos ago, so check it out. The reason why a Loom video is very important is because trust is very low these days. Everyone is selling shit. No one is good at what they do. And especially you, if you've never done anything, you have no skills, then you need to do something else to make people care about you, okay? Some people say do work for free, make them free samples. This works. but it just takes a lot of time. But with a free Loom video, you basically shorten the sales cycle because they get to know you as a person. It shows that you've put effort, 5, 6, 7 minutes of effort going through their profile, analyzing what they're doing. And with the skills that you've done and that you've acquired by, watching YouTube videos and looking at other people, you can point out where they're going wrong. Okay. So you can point out where they're going wrong, and then you can go ahead and show that to them in the YouTube video, in the Loom video. And the point is that you take that Loom video and you send it as many places as you can. As I told you, their email, LinkedIn, Twitter, all those methods. You send it to them with a fairly short message, because the longer the message, the more it looks like outreach. You just want to make it seem like you've recorded them this video. You just want them to see it. Hey man, I made you this video on some ways that I think I can drive more revenue in your business. Check it out. You have to add some curiosity. And if you have any case studies, which once you get a couple of results, it becomes much easier to get clients, you basically want to slap that on the table when you reach out to them, okay? It's like you want to put your dick out on the table. Is you want to say, hey, I've helped, for us, we've generated $2 million in sales in the last year. We've done over $2 million in sales. Here's what I would do in your shoes to make more money with your business. Made you a video. Bang. And if they're making less than $2 million, they're going to be interested in that. And then they're going to watch the video. So in the video, how do you structure your video outreach? As I said, I have a whole video tutorial going over that. So go ahead and watch that after this video. But you basically want to do a few things. The first thing is you want to establish trust. You don't want to sit there and talk about random stuff. They are busy. If you have case studies, you have testimonials, you have experience in certain industries, you want to state that from the very beginning. Is why should they listen? Then you want to go through their business. You want to first show that it is their business you're talking about. So the Loom video, the thumbnail should be their Instagram profile picture, their YouTube profile picture, their website, whatever it is, with your face kind of next to it in the Loom video, so that they know that the video is for them. And then you go ahead and you walk through everything that they're doing well, but then also some areas where they're not doing so well. And those areas that they're not doing well are exactly the same skills that you have set out, okay? Or that you have learned and that you're going to specialize in. So maybe you've realized you've gone through their funnel and no one from the sales team reached out to you. You could say, man, your show up rate is probably terrible. If your show up rate's not at least 80%, then you're doing something wrong. And this can be very easily fixed with an appointment setting team that can go in and contact all your leads that you're getting through all these, hundreds of thousands of views that you're getting per day. So this needs to be fixed ASAP, because you're literally leaking 50% of your business revenue, because you can double it if you can double your show rate, for example. So that's one. Or you could say, you're not running a webinar at the moment, so you're losing so many sales because some people don't want to book sales calls. So you could be running a webinar. And this is an example of people who've done it. And if you don't have any client testimonials yourself, show them what other people in the space are doing. Show them what their competitors are doing to spike intrigue, to get them to want to do this. So what you want to do is you want to portray that you have value to give them. Okay, you want to portray that you know what you're talking about. And if you don't have any results, it might take some time for you to get used to saying the words. It might take time for you to get used to kind of showing them how the value of what you have can be useful for them. But record a few looms until it starts to sound natural. And once you feel confident with everything else you've seen in the space, which shouldn't take you more than a couple of days, you can go ahead and start doing this. And you can point out ways, like, for example, maybe you followed them and no one reached out to you. This is very bad. If they have an appointment setter reaching out to every follower, then fantastic. You'll make so much more money because you'll get more deals done. So again, based on what the skills that you've focused on, this is what you take them through in the Loom video, because I would assume that they're not currently doing this. Obviously, what do I do if they are doing everything that I'm good at? Then you just don't reach out to them and you keep looking for other people who are not. And that you will make the most money if you can find skills that people are not working on most of the time. If you can do that, you'll make more money. All right. So who to reach out to? We've gone over that. Where to find clients? We've gone over that. How to reach out? I told you make a Loom video because it shows that you care. You've put some effort in. And then you go from there. What do you say? I've told you the Loom should be, between 3 and 7 minutes long. Keep it concise, keep it valuable. And then, you can frame it as, I made you this video. Go ahead and use it for free if you want. Or if you are interested, let's have a chat and see if we can strike up a deal together. Okay. And strike up a partnership. And then you can frame that your power when you're starting out is you can frame that there is no money up front. You will only take a percentage of what you make them. And so this is the best deal in the world because there's no risk attached to them. Then follow up. Understand that at the beginning, people won't care about you. So if you have a list of like 200 to 400 leads that you really want to work with, I would recommend you focusing on that and you reaching out to them as much as you can in as many places as you can so that you get their attention. And if you focus on a small list of 200 to 400, getting one of those people to say yes is usually a better bet than reaching out to 1,000 and getting one people to say yes, because you'll reach out to that small list more times and you'll put more effort into each follow-up and each reach out. And so the goal here is to go the opposite route. When everyone is automating, you want to personalize. So you want to make sure that there's a human connection being made before you go ahead and ask for the sale. And that's why the Loom video outreach is the best way to do that. Okay. So then we talk about conversion. What do you do? What I would say is once they are interested and they're like, yes, this sounds pretty cool, let's talk, you get them on a call. So you set up a time to have a chat with them, send them a Calendly link, they will book a call, get on a call with them and just have a conversation about how their business is going and go through exactly what you can do for them. And then you position yourself as that kind of, you'll do it all for them because either they don't have the time or they don't have the skills because they're so busy running the business and they're so busy making content that you can just do this and you'll simply take a percentage of what you make. When you're first starting out, you might want to take a slightly lower percentage, like 10 to 20%. Don't ask for 50% or anything stupid like that, like some people used to do back in 2023, 2024. That doesn't work anymore. Ask for 10, 20%. And then as you get a couple clients, you can raise that percentage once you have some proof of concept, okay? And then if you do this enough and you stick to this consistently, let's say you're doing 20 to 30 to 40 looms a day, because this is all you should be doing all day, every day. If you have nothing else to do and you have no other clients, to get to 10K a month, you do 40 looms, do 20 to 40 looms a day for a month, you'll be hitting 10K a month. I promise you, I guarantee you, okay? Then we took into delivery. What do you do once someone says yes? The first thing you have to understand is you cannot be afraid to mess up. And the best way to remove the fear of messing up is understanding that you will mess up. Things will go wrong. You won't have all the answers from the beginning. And you may make a fool of yourself with your first client. It may flop. That's okay. That's okay. You have to say yes more to things, okay? This is the biggest lesson that I had. I think I heard Tucker Carlson saying this, which is just say yes. Take bigger projects that you're not qualified to take and just try and figure it out as you go, because everyone will forget in 6 months, the same person you flopped with as your first client won't even remember that you existed. I promise you. Especially if you're not charging up front, there's nothing for them to lose. And there's nothing for you to lose either. So do not be afraid to mess up. Go in with the full force confidence that you will figure it out, because there are some stupid people out there making a lot of money. And the way they did it is by figuring it out. I'm not particularly smart, but it's just by taking chances. If anything, it's the smart people that talk themselves out of doing things because they're not sure about how to do every single detail. When instead, if you just figure out the details as you go along, you just say, I have a general idea of the direction I'm going in. I'm going to figure it out as I go along. You will be fine. So this is the first mentality in terms of delivery is don't be afraid. You've never done this before. Everyone had their first time, right? You will figure it out. Then it's okay to make mistakes. Trust yourself. If you've seen how other people do things and you're trying to copy kind of a funnel or emails and it's not working, that's okay. Take some time, try and dig into why things aren't working, and just trust yourself. And if you do make mistakes, understand that you will live, your client will live, everyone will live, and everyone will forget, okay? It's okay. It doesn't matter how badly you humiliate yourself. And I'm talking from the worst case scenario, just to remove the fear. Everything will be fine, okay? And the last thing is just copy what works. Don't try and be a genius. Don't try and be a genius. Go, if you're building, let's say, a VSL for people, go to another person in the space who's doing well. Watch their VSL and just copy the structure. Don't copy it word for word. Don't steal the script, but take the structure. Maybe at the beginning they're talking about the pain point, then they're talking about how they help, then they're talking about results, and just apply it to your client. Just copy what works. See what's already working and do the same. Don't try and be, the genius guy who comes up with a new strategy. Copy what works and you'll be okay. This is how I got to where I got. When I launched my first webinar for clients, I had no idea what the hell I was doing. But I just went, kind of read a book on it, saw what other people were doing, and just copy pasted it and followed the same strategy, applied it to the teachings that our client teaches, and it worked, and we made a lot of money. And then we did that on the second webinar, third webinar, and then you start to understand, okay, we did this and this went wrong. We did that and this went wrong. We flopped many times. We've launched clients that it didn't work, and we had to let them go after a couple months. That's okay. Okay? I'm still alive. They're still alive. It's okay. As long as you maintain your integrity and you're honest with your clients and you try to do right by them, and you build a good relationship with them, they will give you extra leeway, which is another extra tip on the delivery side is become friends with your clients. Maintain the relationship with your clients over the money that they make you, because the relationships is what lasts forever. And if you have a good relationship with your clients, they will, I promise you, they will give you so much more leeway on messing up. They will give you so much more room for error that and you won't have to worry as much. Now, of course, you still want to show up and do the right thing, but if they can honestly tell that you're doing what you can to make them as much money as possible, they will give you, everything will work out. Okay, and now for the last bit is scale. How do you scale to 10K a month? You don't. You shouldn't give a shit about scale. $10,000 a month doesn't require scale, okay? $10,000 a month is puny. It's tiny. You need one client, you need to make them decent amount of money, and you will make 10K a month, okay? So don't even ask yourself about scale. Don't think about scale. Don't worry about scale. Once you get to $10,000 a month, then you can give a shit about how to get to 20, 30, 40, 100, okay? Get to 10 first with 1 or 2 clients, and then you worry about it. So essentially, don't give a shit about scale. Fine? So that is how to hit $10,000 a month with growth operating. It's very simple. It's not easy because it requires consistency. But my last piece of advice to you is just stick in the game. Stick it out a bit longer than you otherwise would. When it starts to get hard, when you don't see results, that is when you keep going. Because 99% of people, imagine the hundreds of thousands of people that have tried to growth operate. I'm not special. I'm an idiot for all I care. But I've been able to make it work. Why? Because I've stuck it out. Okay, stick it out, stay in the game. When things go wrong, you carry on. You put your head down, you freaking carry on. All right. So that's my piece of advice to you. If you follow this, you will make money. Most of you won't, because most of you are donuts. But those who do, just thank me by leaving a like and maybe subscribing or something, watching my other videos. And other than that, I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Peace. See you soon.